Howdy, you Raymond?
Yes, sir.
Kenny, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sir. Come on back.
Certainly. Howdy, guys. Not bad.
Our phones.
So is this an open meeting or do they have a reservation and members only?
This is a public park.
Right, but you can reserve pavilions if you have a permit.
Not to my knowledge. And
Okay.
If they do, this is a public event.
Sure that nobody tries to harass him while he's recording.
Gotcha.
Right up. Of course, I appreciate it. It's also, I also think it's time to take the fight.
I'm not interested. Just here to help him record.
Just in case my bullshit comes. There's supposed to be a lot of candidates there.
Gotcha. Okay, do you have a copy of the permit out of curiosity?
Huh?
Do you have a copy of the permit I can see?
No, we do not keep all the numbers reserved. You have to be outside of the perimeter.
Okay. All right. What's the number? Number. Oh. Howdy.
Hey, how's it going? I don't think you have a gun.
I checked the sign. There's no prohibition on it, and remember,
Okay, I'm gonna call the police.
that's your prerogative. I checked the signs, and remember, 30 pistol permits
We're calling
are
the police.
generally
You don't have to
inclusive.
talk to me anymore.
Okay, that's your prerogative.
There's not another one.
Just please do not use the emergency number.
Hey, call the police.
Use the non-emergency numbers, sir. You don't want them running code and running somebody over.
Fucked up.
Again, don't use the emergency number. Use the non-emergency number. Oh. Nope. You did call the non-emergency number, right? I hate for you to run code and cause an issue.
Okay, so anyway, that's what it's doing. And you know what? Yeah, this is a peaceful event. You can run it here, you have kids here, you have children here. I don't understand why you
I'm here to help keep the peace, sir.
Oh, this is what he's doing. Yeah, he's saying that he's here to keep the peace. He's saying he's here to keep the peace.
Not in a law enforcement capacity. Just a concerned citizen.
Oh, he says you're law enforcement?
No, I am not law enforcement.
You're not, right?
I am just here as a concerned citizen because we had some reports that some of the cameramen might not be well received at this event.
A what?
We had some reports some of the cameramen at this event might not be well received.
A cameraman at this event will not be well received. This is what he's telling us.
So we're just here to record and make sure everything goes peacefully.
What's your name, by the way?
You can call me Kenny.
What's your last name?
Here, let me give you one of my cards.
Hey, there you go. This guy is Kenny.
Here you are.
Wolf. Anyway, hey, John Cobarruvias, out here doing policeman's work
Not a policeman's work, just here as an armed citizen.
and calling himself an armed citizen during an event that we're having, taking the children around. If that's legal, that's fine. I just don't think it is. And you know, he's just for him being here, he's harassing us.
That's not the way the penal code works, sir.
Some kind of militia group too. Are you with the militia group?
No, sir.
Hey, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Score one for a flip out over open carry and a Trump shirt.
Well, I thought it all recorded.
Yeah, no, hey, so listen, like, y'all want to go into glory? You know? At least you thought. So first of all, I appreciate you doing your constitutional duty. Yeah, so. Yeah, so like, hey, so we're going to go to
Whatever you want. Sure.
I'm like,
No, they're gonna trip about him being right there.
yeah, so. Yeah, man. I mean, it makes you feel more comfortable.
They
Feel
can't.
free to sit-
Well, you have the right to open carry here, right?
But of course, especially since I have a permit, which is a general level security clearance, and there's nothing against it on the sign.
Okay.
I double checked that before entering.
We're on your side, my friend. We are on your side, so please don't get upset at us being on your side.
No, I'm not. I don't think you're upset. I don't think any of that at all.
We really appreciate you. All right, man. So listen, man. No, yeah. So like what I'm saying, you know, like. Who the hell is that?
Oh yes, and they do have it reserved. They do have the pavilion reserved. They told me, and see where it says reserved right there on that sign. So they do have exclusive access of it right now.
Okay, but the perimeters.
Yes, but I'm out here, I'm fine. This is public.
Of course, you're fine, yes. So listen, I'm sorry, so you want to go with me to the perimeter, man? Come on, like, get some glory.
Where at?
To the perimeter of the thing, because they can't prevent us from going to the perimeter.
They can't really stop you either, right? If you're a concerned citizen.
Yeah, no, yes. I mean, so we want to go to another side.
All right, well, if they don't want you there in the pavilion, they have a right at the moment to not have you there. But you should be able to stand like a couple feet outside and be fine. You are hilarious, sir. Great comedy routine.
Got that too.
But when she went to
Evening, officer. I trust they called you on the non-emergency number at least.
I have no idea.
Okay. Well, I told them to use the non-emergency number.
What's going on?
I just had a guy kind of flipping out in the usual progressive way that somebody here was exercising their Second Amendment rights. He wasn't aware that it was legal to carry with a permit in a park like this.
You're doing this just to...
Oh,
doing?
all right, just
I mean, you got your GoPro on, you got your phone.
yeah, we're here to film the events
you got
and
a YouTube channel or anything like that?
actually, sure, I'll actually be nice and give you a card to it.
Sure.
That way you can put it in your report.
It's not going to be a report.
Okay. If you don't think there needs to be, then that's your prerogative.
What report would you think we should take?
Nothing that I'm concerned about. Well, nothing that I would think of. It's just I know sometimes y'all like to have reports for productivity, just to pass up to the chain to show that you're a good officer.
He didn't call y'all here, though.
Yeah.
You're right. Somebody called us, and obviously
Y'all
call the police, we
understand
respond.
that this day and age, with all these active shooters that are going on, y'all are at a park. We know what y'all are doing. A lot of people don't understand the laws, but it's a cause for concern. There's people up here with kids. No one knows what your mental state is. No one knows what your plan is. Okay, y'all understand that, right?
All right, which is for its worth why I'm not don't have a rifle or anything like
Right.
that.
But I mean, look at what's happened over the past 10 years with active shooters. You know?
Right, and well, if you remember, this day and age, we're seeing a lot of attacks on just journalists trying to cover events like this,
Yeah.
which is why I'm open carrying rather than concealed carrying.
We have absolutely no problem with you doing what you're doing.
Right.
But you're doing this to do exactly what you're doing. And you and I both know that, okay?
You're trying.
No, sir, this is not an audit. This is just me here because we were, one of our friends who's filming the event was concerned it might not go well for him.
Let us finish, and then we'll come talk to you. Okay?
So that's honestly all there is to this. I open carry.
Everybody has a political view. Everybody's got their constitutional rights. But you and I both know that you came here for the sole purpose to put your GoPro on your head, get your phone in your hand, and strap your gun on your chest with your Trump shirt to instigate, possibly, and antagonize.
No,
That
sir.
is my opinion, and I'm
Okay.
entitled to my opinion.
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay? You may have the right to do what you're doing, but sometimes that right, although you have it, it just, why? For doing exactly what you're doing, because you're going to put this on YouTube later, you're going to get your views, and you're going to do all that, and that's fine. Okay, that's your right. But these people have a right to peacefully assemble and do what they're doing.
Correct, and I'm
Not some dude walking around them, filming their event with a 45 strapped to his chest and a 6-inch or 7-inch knife on his hip.
5-inch. I keep it bar legal, if you must know.
Well, I mean, I'm just telling you how it is, what I'm thinking, okay? We're not going to sit here, we're not going to attempt to identify you, because I'm sure you won't do that. But we were going to ask you to remain peaceful.
Absolutely, sir.
Don't antagonize, don't fraternize, don't involve yourself with these individuals. Just do what you're doing and let it be. If they antagonize you, then call us and we'll try to help you. If not, we're just going to stand here and make sure the peace is kept.
Absolutely, sir. And what is your non-emergency number if we do have an issue?
I'll give you a card.
Thank you.
Are all y'all together?
No, sir.
Me and him are journalists from a Norwegian newspaper.
And just for what it's worth, officer, if I was trying to draw y'all here, I would be a lot more flamboyantly dressed.
Yes. I get it, man. I mean, everybody's. It's just, you know, pro-gun. You know,
right.
I mean, I get it. Like,
Because what's worth, 9 out of 10 events we go to, a GoPro and a sidearm doesn't draw any attention.
yeah, it's just this day and age with everything that happens in this country, with all the active shooters. You never. I mean, who's to say that you were like, hey, I'm going to walk into this park,
because
pretend like I'm here for an
well, if you want
reason, and then I'm just going to start shooting.
If you want the answer to that, because I'm open carrying.
Yeah.
If you look at the psyche of those who are actually criminally deranged, they like to keep everything hidden until they go full psycho, because it gives the biggest shock value.
Yeah.
So, do you know what this Texas law is in regards to open carry?
You mean 3802, 3806?
I don't know it. I'm asking you. Do you know it?
Well, yes, sir.
How are you supposed to wear and present your firearm?
It's either when you're open carrying the pistol, it has to be either a belt holster or a shoulder holster.
I believe.
Yeah, you can't just have it kind of loosely in your pocket.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Okay. So, have you actually made it inside the city park when you're walking around the park?
Is that going to be an issue if I am?
I'm just asking. Have you? I mean, from what they said, they have. Right now, I'm making sure that we don't. I'm not aware if we have any specific. This is city property.
Correct.
This is maintained and owned by the city of Webster. Obviously, tax dollars pay for that, so it's public property. But we also have different types of rules and whatnot. And I'm not going to tell you. I'm not getting it. I'm not trying to make this any more than needs to be, but if it's clearly posted.
Well, to help you with your job, sir.
The area, so we don't plan to be on the actual platform.
Yeah,
yes, but they have that reserved.
Verified that they have actually.
Yeah, they have that reserved. I'm well aware of that.
Whether or not they rented this.
We're just going to be on the perimeter.
Yeah, we're just going to be on the perimeter of
She
that.
said they rented it out. So
Yeah, I'm
we'll
double
trust her
checking.
word.
Okay.
We're supposed to know. We're supposed to know about it.
Right. Well, they actually put the reserve sign up, so I'm quite sure they have.
Did y'all know that there was an event going on here?
Well, yes, we came here to film it.
I just, like I said, man, you can do whatever you want. It's annoying. Like if I was here with my family and friends, I would be annoyed that some guy is walking around.
Well, in my opinion, in this day and age, we live in an era where people voluntarily give up too much of their rights because they're afraid of hurting other people's feelings, and that's.
I'm not going to disagree with you,
Okay.
bud, but we'll see what we do for a living, right? I mean,
Yes, and I do support the blue, and I do thank you for your service. We're very stringent on the only thing, which is that you honor your oath at all times, which you are doing an excellent job of. You disagree with me personally, but you're allowing me my rights, and that's going to look very. And I will do everything I can to make sure I convey that to people on social media. That Webster
I'm
is a
sure
professional.
That you have a lot of the same opinions on politics.
We probably have quite a few in common. And for what it's worth, if they start getting...
Is it just y'all four together?
No, they're not.
You mind just tell me what your first name is? I'm not going to ask you your last name, just so we
You
can
can call me Kenny.
I'm Corporal Sprinkles. This is Officer Hadaway. Kenny. Thomas.
We are not with them. We are Norwegian journalists.
Oh,
Okay.
We are not with them.
welcome.
Thank you. Just
All right.
We just observe.
Are y'all here for specifically for the election and what's going on and everything?
Yeah, we are.
Boy,
We are doing a story about.
how is ours compared to y'all's, huh?
It's very different. Very interesting. We are doing a story about.
You're telling me. All right, well, welcome. How long y'all been here?
Here in Texas just a couple of days. I'm based in New York, so I live in New
Okay,
York.
all right. Kenny and I'm sorry, Thomas. We appreciate y'all. Y'all don't know how we stand politically, but everybody has the right to be safe, feel safe, and do things without the fear. And
harassment,
completely agree with you wanting to exercise your rights.
Correct.
Why we're not
And
here pressing the issue, okay?
just for what it's worth personally, part of the reason we're here is they start going on a rant about defunding the police. We want to make sure we record that and put it on YouTube everywhere.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, that's fine. So I take it, you have a CHL?
Yes, sir.
Good. Okay, you don't like carrying it concealed? You like putting it out there like that?
Correct. For the same reason y'all do.
Okay, sure. Okay. All right. Well,
And-
I have an officer who's pretty familiar with the proper way and the non-proper way to wear and display your handgun if you're going to openly carry it like that.
If you want something by, I'd be happy to talk to him.
Per him. I mean, like I said, I'm not familiar with it because I don't have to worry about that law in regards to the way I
Okay.
carry it. Okay. I've been a cop for almost 15 years, and you know, I wear a gun every day at work. I don't wear a gun off duty. I'm sick of wearing a gun. But he's coming over here, and he may or may not have some insight for you. And
okay. Well,
any other questions for us? Well, in the meantime,
No, sir. All right.
yes, sir. And just other than I appreciate your professionalism, that you're honoring your oath even though you disagree with me personally.
all right, bud.
So you have a great night, sir.
All right.
Yes, welcome to America.
Thank you.
Hmm?
I said we're good right here, even on sundown on the grass, as long as
Yeah.
we get on there.
To look non-threatening, I'm just gonna stay back here on the
Yeah.
bench.
Are you good?
Okay.
Yeah, you're fine. He's not coming.
Okay.
That shoulder holster, is it old? Is it a vintage or?
It's a recreation of a World War II tanker holster.
Okay. So is it considered a shoulder holster?
It's a shoulder holster, even though it attaches to the belt as well.
Okay. All right. You're gonna be good, bud?
Yes, sir.
All right, man.
Have a good evening.
All right. Did you know Ogg was gonna be here?
Who's Ogg?
Kim Ogg?
No, I did not.
Welcome, welcome, everybody. It has been a long and tumultuous 4 years, but we're finally here. Voting started today, and I just wanted to let you know, we broke at 1:40 today, we broke an all-time record for the biggest number of voters at 1:40.
So the first reason that we should vote them out is for Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Huh?
I got a good video of when the cops were talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
She was all like, the lady was all like, y'all not gonna stay here? She said, this is where our taxpayer dollars go to? They got dispatched. They didn't get ordered to stay here.
Right.
We're in was something that was really impactful. If we don't vote them out, they'll pack the Supreme Court fully.
I told Sonny ahead of time.
Right now,
depending on where it's at, because he didn't know it was gonna be on like inside that. He thought he was gonna be able to be like real up close. No, they're gonna tell you they have a permit for this, but they shouldn't. You shouldn't have no problem recording from right there.
Right.
They still don't like it though because you're capturing the essence of it.
Exactly.
Like half of them are empty chairs.
Who didn't get over the hump, but who were incredibly qualified, and we see that this nominee just doesn't have that.
Yeah, make sure and post a lot of photos of those empty chairs.
Oh, I got it. I even got it with the idiot guy who was like, "Bah, bah, 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 bah." I mean, you got it too.
Yeah, I've been recording the whole time.
Who look like Shuri, who look like Tanisha.
Yeah, reason I have the GoPro tonight.
I got his name too when they announced him.
Okay. Yeah, reason I have the GoPro is
just
people accuse me of all sorts of illegal shit. Just make sure I'm innocent.
To give us opportunities to vote by mail. And when the Republicans understood that the voters were going to be folks like us, what they do? They filed lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit. So vote them out because they're trying to suppress our vote.
You might need to be recording again.
My third reason to vote them out is Sheriff Gonzalez walks in. Vote them out because they're not serious.
Kyle, right?
Kenny.
So we do have an ordinance for open carrying.
Okay, I did not see it posted on the
It's not
sign.
posted, it's on the website. Okay, I'm going to read it to you, okay?
It's just a continuation of things that African Americans have seen.
City of Park rules. It shall be unlawful for any persons to commit any of the following prohibited acts within the city limits in Webster, accordance with the City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 62, Parks and Recreation, Article 1, and General 62, Unlawful Acts, right? Unlawful acts. Number 8, use, allowed to be used or have in possession a weapon capable of causing death or serious bodily injury, including but not limited to firearms, CO2 pellet guns, BB guns, slingshot, bows and arrows, or crossbows. You need to leave the park.
Okay, yes sir. I was not aware of that. It was not posted, so
Thank you, sir.
I will.
Other folks in law enforcement, and we're really going to see a change in this country.
So just so we're clear, you have no problem.
Stand on the sidewalk.
You have no problem if I put the handgun and come back right there, correct?
If you get, I mean, you're risking somebody breaking into your car, but yeah.
Okay.
You're welcome to stand on the sidewalk.
Well, is this the public sidewalk here, or is this
No,
still
this
part
is
of the
part
park?
of this property. The public sidewalk is near the street.
Yes, sir.
So if you want to stand there with your gun, you're welcome to do that. If
Okay.
you want to secure your gun and go back in, you're also welcome to do that.
Okay.
Never in my opinion, there's never been a time where folks have been going in. Now, I may have to report them to the road process, but that well, what's important is here we are weeks ago in the election, and we're supposed to have voted before. They use the vote for this one candidate, right?
So how y'all doing today?
Good. How are you? I had the distinct pleasure of talking to Richard Briscoe yesterday.
Oh, yes.
He is a pretty amazing man. I mean, he is definitely one of the smartest people. We talked for about 45 minutes yesterday, and we really enjoyed him. In fact, I tried to get him to come down here and teach a class on this, but he says his schedule is too full.
Okay.
But he was a very nice man, very knowledgeable.
We might be able to get one of our other OTC guys to teach a course. Don't know if you've ever heard of David Ahmad, but he's usually in this area.
David Ahmad?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Is he affiliated with the
Yeah, he's
Open
the
Carry
VP
Texas?
of Open Carry Texas.
I mean, that was a good website. I went to the frequently asked questions part of that yesterday, and it was very informative.
Okay, and of which I assume there's no question about what's on the statutes for open carry with a permit at a park and whatnot. How familiar are you with the other regulations on weapons allowed by state law at parks?
The state law in park, well, out of about the last 24 hours, I've gotten really, really familiar. I mean, in 2016, I think we were all pretty familiar when everything went into effect. And then, you know, like anything, it kind of lapsed, you know. And I know what the mistake was the other night. I've sat there and watched the body cam from the night in the park, and I know what happened. The officer was correct initially when he was speaking with those people, and even our dispatcher was correct, because when they called it in, I guess you saw the gentleman, because I could hear you in the background when he called the police. And our dispatcher was telling him, well, sir, there's no law against that. Is he doing anything? Well, yeah, he's threatening me. Okay, sir. Well, how is he threatening you? What is he doing right now? Well, he's sitting down. And our dispatcher went on to say, well, sir, that's sitting there isn't threatening. And then I could hear he started an exchange with you, is what he did. And then he's saying, see what he's doing? And so at that point, obviously the dispatcher sent units out there. And when the units first got there, I guess he talked to somebody in the crowd in the gathering that was going on in the pavilion part. And he told them, there's no law against this. There's no law against this. And I think one of the members kept saying, yes, he can't do it. There's children here. And children have nothing to do with any of this.
Right, there's children everywhere in Texas.
Yes, exactly. And so I think he second guessed himself, and he went where you probably saw on our parks website, and he saw that and he was like, oh, okay, well, no, you can't have weapons in the park. Well, the problem is that, as you pointed out in your email, that was wrong. Now, I don't know if you checked it today. It has since been corrected.
Okay, I have not, but I'm glad to know that.
It has since been corrected, and we've taken all the necessary steps there. And I mean, to be perfectly transparent, he was wrong. He made the wrong call. He did the wrong thing. He knows now, and everybody in this PD knows now that was the wrong call, and you know, we're going to move forward. But you know, I guess this open carry law around here, it's not a huge issue. We have had people in the past. There was one guy that he would walk up and down Bay Area Boulevard with a rifle, and nobody was paying attention. So he called the police on himself. And we would go out there. In fact, one officer went out there and they said, hey man, what's going on? You okay? And he goes, yeah, I'm okay. And then they just drove off. Well, he called the police on himself a second time. And so we had to go out there and say, hey, you're not doing anything wrong. I mean, we're not going to do anything here. And then we left. And so I guess he ended up leaving after that. But you know, other than that incident, we haven't had a whole lot of groups. We did have a gentleman here about a year ago, and he didn't have an open carry. He was just filming, you know, walking around the parking lot filming, and went out there and talked to him, and I gave him the tour of the facility. I mean, we really don't have anything to hide, and we like I said in the email, we try to pride ourselves on doing the right thing, and we'll be transparent, and if we screw something up, we're going to admit to it, and we're going to move on.
Well, that is actually very much appreciated, because that's long at the end of the day what we want is just to make sure that y'all know so everybody knows.
Yes, sir. But yeah, as far as open carry, the one you got time to answer a couple questions?
Absolutely.
So I contacted the DA's office and I couldn't get a straight answer. So one thing that befuddled me on open carry text is the frequently asked questions. It talks about the license holder, all right? And the officer's authority to request the CHL, or the license to carry, and when they have to show it to you and when they don't. And even on the open carry Texas thing, it says it's really kind of a gray area, you know. And so I'm wondering, because it also says in another website, you know, when you get your license to carry, the one thing they tell you is if you're ever approached by the police and ask for it, give it to them, show it to them. But I get it. I mean, if somebody's just sitting there, let's just say you were at the park sitting there with your rig. You're not doing anything, but somebody calls and says, hey, this gentleman's here and I feel threatened. Because basically that's what happened to you on Friday.
Correct.
Okay, and so the police officer approaches you and says, hey, sir, I'm Corporal Sprinkle of the Webster Police Department, and I'm here because so-and-so called and they felt threatened. Obviously you're not doing anything. Do you have a license to carry? And I mean, granted, you would probably say yes. I mean, yes or no. I mean, you would say, yes, I have one, but then at that point in time, what do y'all train your people to do if the officer asks for it?
The same thing as with driver's licenses, actually, because in a fitting twist, your LTC card actually has your driver's license on it. So if you're in a situation where it'd be reasonable for an officer to ask for your driver's license, that's when you would show them your LTC. And then we tell officers the same thing. You can't just randomly approach a car going down the street because you don't like the color of their tint and ask them to see their driver's license.
Right, exactly. How about if they ask you, how about if in that same exact scenario we just gave, if an officer just walked up and said, hey, do you have an LTC?
Personally, I'm willing to say yes, I do, because Open Carry Texas, we are first and foremost for following the law, and it is the law that you have an LTC to carry a handgun.
Right.
Some of the auditors out there are a bit more extreme in trying to stick fully with the established driver's license precedent of not even having to answer that. But typically at Open Carry Texas, we're okay with saying we have LTCs because that is the law.
Okay. All right.
Then we're not going to pull it out and prove it unless you have reasonable, articulable suspicion that we're not a valid LTC holder.
One of the things Mr. Briscoe said, and I think it holds true not just in this scenario, but in general, in contacts with law enforcement, is over 50% of it has to do with the demeanor of the officer and how he approaches the LTC or the open carry holder. Would you agree with that?
I would say that's definitely a large part of it, of which I can at least appreciate Corporal Sprinkles, even though he might have disagreed with me at some point, was doing his utmost to uphold the law as best he knew it. He just didn't know the law in its full context.
Yes, sir. And I guess you know the background on that, why it was so, I mean, and I'm just, this is an assumption on my part, but I'm guessing it was all heightened because the DA was out there.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and again, I apologize for, and Officer Sprinkle's been counseled with, and he definitely recognizes the error of his ways on that, and he is fully versed on open carry, probably more than he ever was even in 2016.
Well, that's good to know. That again, that's ultimately all we're after at the end of the day, is just to make sure everybody's on the same page and everybody knows what should be expected.
With regards to that other gentleman you mentioned that does training, do you happen to know how long that block is?
No, I do not, but I'll try and find out and let you know.
I will give you a business card with my information on it if you could pass it on to him, or if you could reach out to him and contact me. Definitely something we're interested in, because I think as we get closer to November and even thereafter.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you are going to be seeing a lot more of this, of which something I did bring along you might find helpful is the statutes concerning location-restricted knives, aka Bowie knives and trench knives. Because from what I understand, with the recent changes in laws, those are allowed at city parks as well, though not necessarily amusement parks, schools, and places like that. And of course, it's only location restricted if it's more than 5.5 inches.
But 30-06, 30-7 wouldn't apply to knives.
Correct.
Okay.
But but some officers have thought they apply to parks because they apply to amusement parks.
Right. And amusement parks, so that only applies to amusement parks if they've got 30-06, 30-7, right? Or is that all amusement parks? Like, let's say Disney.
Yeah, 30-7, 30-6 only concern firearms.
Right, but I'm talking about firearms in amusement parks. Let's say Six Flags Over Texas. I haven't ever.
Well, Six Flags Over Texas has a no knife whatsoever policy, and they have the security to enforce that, which is fair.
But how about handgun? Do they have 30-06, 30-7?
Correct.
But if they didn't have those signs, legally, you could carry in an amusement park. The only thing it's I guess where I'm going with this is amusement parks in general aren't off the table, but they have to post that if they
Correct. They have to post 30-7, 30-6. You can't bring a location restricted knife there automatically. And if they have a policy against even regular knives, you can't bring them.
Okay. All right. Interesting to know. Yeah, absolutely. And truth be known, everybody carries a knife. I mean, everybody carries a knife. We've got some people that work here that carry 6 or 7 on them at any given time. So I don't think, I mean, granted, somebody that knows how to use a knife, especially what's the 21-foot rule, which I think they've actually pushed back even further now. But I don't think officers are as alarmed by knives any longer just because they're so commonplace. Open carry, again, we don't see a whole lot of it. So a lot of times, you know, we take notice of it, but I know the citizenry, because it isn't super prominent out here. Now, I'm sure concealed. I'm sure you'd really be surprised if you knew how many people are actually carrying concealed firearms.
My personal philosophy is the statute says knives, plural. That means you have to be carrying at least 2 of them.
There you go. One is none, two
Right.
is one.
Of course, not back here because this is your security zone, your security policies, which is more than fair.
Right. Well, and we've always had that. You know, the secure. You can bring a gun or whatever you like into the.
Well, that's the
lobby
difference
area,
between the public part of the building and the private part of the building.
The public doesn't have
which
access.
is completely fair in my opinion.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. I guess, are we good? And if not, what do we need to?
No, we're good. My only concern was just making sure that we don't have this issue going forward. And y'all have been great about correcting that and giving me reassurance that won't be the case.
It will not be the case again. We've got everything squared away. Like I said, it's squared away on the websites. Everybody is very well versed in this at this point, and they're going to be getting an additional lesson and some Police One training on it too, assigned to just everybody. And I think it's only a 15 or 20-minute block, but I think it highlights everything. So if nothing else, it'll be a good refresher for everybody.
Right. The only thing I can think of is, generally speaking, the city of Webster does have the right to say you can't carry a rifle in the park if you have no LTC permit. However, if you have an LTC permit, it doesn't matter if you're carrying a AR-15 pistol or an actual AR-15.
Say that again.
Okay, so the city of Webster does have the right, if somebody's not a permit holder, to say you can't carry a rifle or other long gun in the park.
Why? I thought you could always carry. I didn't think you needed a license to. Is it the park that restricts it?
Yes, it's the park that restricts it.
Okay.
So as the city does have that authority to actually enforce that against non-permitted folks who are carrying a long gun.
Okay.
Even though you don't necessarily, since you don't need a permit to carry a long gun. However, if somebody does have an LTC permit, they can carry a long gun into the park.
All right. And here again, if they're not doing anything threatening or no reason.
Correct. And ultimately, that should be y'all's bottom line, is don't worry so much about the permit, worry about the person and what they're doing.
Right, and just walk. So would you recommend just keeping eyes on them and watching from afar for a little bit and just making sure that everything seems...
That's a fair response. I mean, it's a public park for y'all too, and if you have a concerned taxpayer that thinks the situation needs to be looked into, and don't have anything else going on, that's probably a fair response.
Okay.
Again, if you show up, you don't see any threatening behavior, and it's the other side that's flipping out, then probably no reason to stick around.
Well, let me ask you this, and this is your opinion question. I mean, most of the time, if you've got somebody that's carrying a long gun or something like that, or even an open carry handgun, most of the time, well, I can't say most of the time, in your experience, would you say most of those people are within the boundaries of the law and they know it? Otherwise, they probably wouldn't be doing that?
Correct. They would not be so openly advertising unless they had good reason to think they were well within the rule of law.
Okay. All right.
That has been my general experience.
All right. Well, very good. Very good. That's all we've got. Like I said, we spoke a lot with Mr. Briscoe yesterday, and he really, it was a good conversation. In fact, we called him twice yesterday to ask him follow-up questions.
Okay, and I gotta say, thanks to y'all, you've been the most accommodating police department we've come across that we've had an issue with and just immediately corrected it, full stop.
We don't have anything to hide, man. Mm-hmm. We realize we're human, and there's been one perfect person that's walked this earth, and it wasn't anybody in this room.
Amen to that.
And, we're all going to make mistakes, and, we grow from those mistakes, and we move forward.
All right, well, thank you a lot for your time. And
let me get you my business card.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
You can pass it on. I'll be right back.
Y'all folks have any questions I can answer while I'm here?
I do not. How about you?
No, I don't think I do. I mean, I started in Friendswood, so I saw this on there too.
Okay.
That was before license to carry, though. That was just with concealed. It was usually just rifles, the open carry of the rifles, that type. But yeah.
Here you go, young man.
Much appreciated.
All right. Well, guys, I do appreciate your time. And like I said, you know how to reach me. If you have any more questions or problems or concerns, call me and we'll see what we can do about them.
Sounds great.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yes, sir.
Lulls, and even worse than that. So what we are hoping for is that everybody acts like a decent, civilized person, that there's no violence, there's no disruption. But we've seen the very President of the United States call for his people stand by and come out and watch. And we've seen what that looks like in this very park tonight with somebody who was carrying a weapon, had a GoPro. You know, we can do this. We can live together. We can have different ideas without walking around armed among ourselves, filming each other. We can have a fair community where people abide by the law and they don't get their civil rights trampled. We have stopped the prosecution of marijuana. We have exonerated 5 individuals. And we have pursued violent criminals as a priority because we all agree that it's important that our public safety remain intact. So your voting places are secure. Your rights are still secure. But none of this is free. And none of it comes easy. And if you think that a democracy can't be brought down, look around the world, folks.
It has been a long and tumultuous 4 years, but we're finally here. Voting started today, and I just wanted to let you know, we broke at 1:40 today, we broke an all-time record for the biggest number of voters at 1:40. And I cannot start this event without thanking my amazing team of FATM members. So please, FATM members, stand up, wave to everybody. I want to thank all my volunteers. I just want to say in a short 4.
You are hilarious, sir. Great comedy routine.